Okay, hello everybody. Stuart Macadam here, and welcome to another episode of the Macadam Marketing Podcast. And in today's video, we're going to be having a look at one of the updates which is set to come in reasonably soon on Facebook. And this was an article I actually saw on, of all places, The Guardian, and it was talking about how there's going to be a restriction introduced. For from February onwards, which means that advertisers aren't going to be able to see uh, young people's gender or types of posts that they've engaged with. And if we scroll through the article, just the sort of first little bit says Facebook and Instagram are tightening restrictions around the data available to firms to target ads at teenage users, Meta has said. From February, advertisers won't be able to see a user's gender or the types of posts they have engaged with as a way of targeting ads to them. And this is something which is, again, coming in around that discussion of the privacy of people's data and information. Obviously, ever since the Apple iOS changes has kicked in, and really since the announcement that Apple made about getting rid of mandatory tracking if they download the Facebook app, it's really introduced a new dimension to advertising as a whole. And this is something that's just really continuing the trend on with it. And they've previously added restrictions to stop advertisers from targeting teenagers. And this is sort of based on interests and activities, but it's really just taking it another step further in order to, I guess, protect a young person's, really like their privacy and the ability to, scroll freely, because some of the ads which they may get shown are, not age appropriate and, may not actually be in the best interests of a young person. And I'm not going to go into specific examples of that. You can probably think of quite a few off the top of your head, but I did begin to notice that around last year, it was around the September October period when I was running ads for my business, and one of the things which they were really clamping down on is that in some countries you could only target above a particular age level for ads, and these weren't for products that were or ads that were sort of adult only. It was like Instagram and Facebook advertising tutorials and tips and so on, like you see on the YouTube channel. In like a country like Indonesia, for example, I think it was 20 or 21 years old. In other countries, you could only target 18-year-olds. So it really narrowed the market down a lot more. And as a lot of people who come to this channel are young people, it was a bit of a hit on the advertising performance. But then again, it just readjusts. And if you look at the fines Meta has received, like in September 2022, um, they got an enormous fine. It was over 400 million euros when they violated the General Data Protection Regulation. Um, that sort of thing is really going to sting, and it's going to cause these big tech companies to take a lot more precautions about how they handle the data and how other people can get access to it. So, what does that mean for advertisers on Facebook that may have products that are of interest to teenagers? Say, for example, if a teenager wants to get a particular phone or wants to get particular, like if it's a teenage girl, they want to get a particular type of handbag or clothing item. What it's going to require is ad copy that is structured around the user itself. So, if you can't see the gender and you can't see the interests, what it's going to require you to do is to start crafting copy that is able to identify that particular person within the opening above the fold text. So, um, it's going to mean that, like looking for a new handbag, you've come you're looking at the right place, for example. Or if handbags and fashion isn't your thing, feel free to keep scrolling. But if it is, we've got some amazing specials. So it really is going to narrow the market down a lot more, and it's going to pull back a lot of the uh, what you might call the advertisers that traditionally would just go for the easiest option. It's going to actually cause you to think a lot more about how you are delivering and creating the ad and sharing it with people. Is it going to be something which requires a lot of noise and structure? Is it going to be something that requires you to do a little bit more thinking and create like maybe carousel images with a lot of different color and text with the ad copy itself? How are you going to call out that particular audience? How are you going to identify people that are interested in it in the first place? What's your unique ad selling point going to be? So that's one of the big changes that's happening right there at the moment. And I'm going to leave it there for now on this podcast. It's definitely something which is of real interest, but I'm going to carry on this series of discussions into part two. So if you do like long form discussions about social media marketing, Facebook ads, updates, and so on, do hit that subscribe button and bell icon so that you receive all the notifications for new videos from this channel. We do regular podcasts every single month, and you're always going to get some of the freshest and most relevant updates. So thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.